Geshe jumper.
잠깐만요. 여기까지 질렀어.
I don't know.
솜.
띠전 씨 지금 들었어.
시에디. 아웨다.
Hello, hello.
빈도.
여기까지 오는다.
Hello, Trashidile.
다시 들래.
Can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes. Okay. We can hear you, but not over the speaker yet.
Okay, no problem.
We have two speakers to try now, so Geshe jumper tries to fix it.
Sure.
Thank you.
네 직대. 네 직대다. 다 좋은 시야. 근데 그것이 정말.
Yeah, I thought I waited there, but I think I made a mistake a million times. Except with the right.
어째 내서 안 된다.
Yeah, 240.
그렇게 저쪽에 맞들래요. 언제 말아?
같이 안달매 뒤에.
No,
내가 찾아서 넣어보시.
Yeah,
이름
I was
찾아서
waiting for-
너?
내리면도 더 보고만 되죠.
Power on. Bluetooth mode.
저 슛.
Hello.
Hello.
이거
Can
뭐?
you hear me over the speaker?
this one 스피커 단다 있어. 용투문데 데스크와.
That's all.
야우 주시는데 데 거래 제거이나.
대매です.
Yalla, cookie dough.
알았어.
Off in mode.
You have to wait until the water is boiling because it's nearly finished. I don't know. It looks like a Vietnamese singing. And it's of the name.
근데 머리를 방금해서 좋아하지.
그래도 맛이네요.
FM mode. Aux in mode.
연금이도.
FM mode. Bluetooth mode. Aux in mode.
스피커가
수시.
He is a nice guy. Yesterday.
Bluetooth mode.
Yeah.
God, I missed him. If he remembers me, I don't know.
It was a lot of people.
I remember him, you know, and Saab. Me and Saab talked yesterday.
Aux in mode.
I just talked to her last week, so
Yeah, we keep in touch.
she's like sometimes in a good, sometimes in a seems a bit unstable in Israel right now.
같이 먹다.
It's very.
FM mode. Bluetooth mode.
23?
Yeah, she's like my little sister.
Aux in mode.
안에 연금도.
Là, 그래서니?
네 연금도 네 스피커에 맞다고.
알레 영이민도.
은금민도 대단 말이지.
가이요. 뭐 제이지 말라.
Yeah,
It's especially for someone like her, who's so open, you know.
yeah, she's really vulnerable. It's sensitive. And we had a lot
용기민도
of talks about self-love.
다
갈치고래 이거 전부 잡으려래.
아,
제메로.
다 되셨다면 시작이도.
Yeah, he wants coffee.
시작하면 두 사람 맞으니까. 합시면 두시.
So this is stop. Here.
나는 속기만 하게. 너한 개.
We get a lower price. Only 50 rupees, but people like, no, not 50 rupees. And then we just started hanging out and going to have.
너한 개 이렇게.
And she here, and we would have coffee later than just talk about Buddhism and spirituality. And she's talking to me.
FM mode. Bluetooth mode.
Like from first second, it's kind of like UD now. That's okay, this kind of work.
이거 지금
어,
이 암초 요새 좀 심리처에서
Oh, I know, I'm really bad with computers.
말 기다리지만 대체
No, we need to connect the speaker with the laptop. So we can actually hear the translator. Yeah, we have two speakers, but we can't make any of them. Yeah, 1 second.
you can,
Oh, it's Zoom.
Zoom.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
Zoom.
yeah,
Okay.
you come here.
Have you been here for a while?
Oh, I will try.
Yeah.
So this one now not working, right?
September?
Hello? Hello?
It's
Hello?
But it's
Hello, hello.
working. It said it's work. Oh, wait. This is not me.
Maybe.
Okay. If I just, but it said that the input level is there already. So let me just, okay. Speaker. So can you guys hear us?
Yes,
you guys-
perfect.
Yes, clear,
Yes, yes, they can hear us.
loud and clear. Yes, thank, yes, can hear.
Have this sound in there.
from
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Speaker, so it's not.
sorry.
네.
Okay.
반대로 봐시.
어, 오케이.
용도는 사게 되면
Carry.
Okay, that, okay. Oh, sorry.
늦은 제시.
Power off.
I'm just looking for Bluetooth.
No, the
Power
Bluetooth
off.
doesn't work for
Bluetooth
some
mode.
reason.
Oh.
That's why we put the cable in.
Okay.
But
So it has to be
Robert said we
AV.
should do
Oh.
this.
If there's a look into the setting on the Zoom app on the laptop, okay. Setting. Oh yeah, there's an app.
Yeah, it's a very specialized thing. Yeah.
Setting on the left, I look for microphones.
Lived here before, and now I'm here with my.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I thought he would be here in person, so he could help me with setting the stuff up.
I see.
Oh, why don't you look for the setting in the
Zoom app itself.
in the laptop actually?
No, he said in the Zoom, no?
I think both to ensure.
Look into the settings on the Zoom app.
늘 본줘야지 되게. 뭘 좀더 단단한 게 아니. 렌틴이 준 제돈.
Is this charge?
Sorry, I think I might not be able to help. But I think we can hear clearly as well.
Yeah, him, yes, but the translator
Oh.
is only in the laptop.
Hello.
So there might be an issue.
Oh.
Let me do it. Let me try.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, this is a projector.
Do
어쨌든
you have any skills?
남면도 하기.
Do you have technical
전체 도마서
그러면서
We try to make the speaker work.
다 가르치고 탑시 가리다. Yeah, hello. Yeah, thank you.
오케이.
그때 용 캐치 때문에.
So this is connected by AV cable.
And this one?
No,
늦은 제돈.
this is a projector.
Yeah, okay,
HM?
okay,
I think you should change here.
okay.
Let's change this so
Let's
that
change
you
it.
can project
HM.
the.
Okay, so which one of the cable?
Take out the
Both of
AV.
them?
예, 뭘로 돼?
Only this one or this one?
Both. I mean, no, just the AV.
In mode.
This has battery already.
Okay,
So
No.
this one.
no?
No. This.
Oh, okay, this one, yeah. Okay, so
Bluetooth mode.
Bluetooth.
Okay, Bluetooth. You want to make it Bluetooth better, no?
No, no,
No.
no, no, no,
So
no, no.
try the other thing.
Oh, but this is not a.
Bluetooth. eh?
No, it's only Bluetooth. Doesn't go by cable.
And it does.
Oh, actually,
At the
I put it
bottom.
up here.
At the bottom.
Okay, Sheila,
오케이, 오케이.
Okay,
can you
put,
pass to me, please?
I put this.
뜻이야죠. 좀 이제 너씩 너무 지도나.
So this is nothing in cable, no?
저는 네 손보예요.
뭐야 알아 있을 것 같은.
This one? I tried,
No,
but
no,
it
no,
doesn't. No. No, it's only Bluetooth.
Okay, let's try Bluetooth again.
예.
Yeah, I don't know where you want to sit.
Probably for you.
근데 Bluetooth 해야 돼. 님틀 줬더나?
To meet the fellow travelers.
아유.
Which one?
반대로.
Nebula.
남
You should press pairing.
Nebula.
Can you put pairing?
Yeah, it's on.
I'm the person that's always knitting with that.
I can hear you.
Yeah.
So do you want some dried cranberry or something with it? Dried.
No, I will try this funny thing.
네,
I have here too.
Yeah, here it says the name. Sanju Patrick.
Have you been to other cities in India then?
Huh?
Have you been to other cities?
Yeah,
in India?
no.
Yeah.
I've been to a bunch of other places, but this is home.
Yeah, like do you recommend any places that has like
Okay,
maybe
done.
not home, but that has a similar good vibe?
Let's talk about it
나
after.
봤을 때.
인터넷에 스케이트.
Hello, can you someone speak?
Hello, hello, does it work?
Yes, it works. Can hear loud and clear.
It's for the people, it's for the people there in the association. Can they hear us over there through the speaker?
차선식이 있어요.
No, unfortunately,
야,
no.
야,
아, 네.
날씨면 됐어.
답시 맨날 매라.
답시
그때
맨날
주소에는
아니 그것도 야심 대주기를 못 하시면 돼.
So maybe we just have to be really quiet.
게 준작이 돼.
자, 그치 생도 같이 지금
Okay, okay.
Bluetooth connected.
Okay, can someone speak again, please?
Hello,
Dashi delay.
Okay, no, it's not working at the moment.
Not working. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you from the laptop, but not the speaker.
I study at the library because I did work since archives. Mainly.
그런 인터넷에 드디어 뒷장을 잡혀.
Yeah.
이렇게.
형 깨먹거나 그거 깨고 온다. 그래도 블루투스 끼면서 이게 얼마나 거야?
It's translated, but the teachers actually speak Tibetan like here.
It helps to speak to them.
Yeah, that's why I'm learning Tibetan now.
Wow.
깨먹는데 배도 맞지. 좀 이제 No speaker.
No.
Yeah, but also the translator is.
You've been using
Bluetooth speaker mode. Bluetooth connected.
Connected.
Yeah.
영어문도 깨 영어문도 가시. connected
캐나다에서
Yeah, it's
온
connected audio,
connected 좀 쫓아가나 보네.
but it's no sound.
손이 보면 돼.
Yeah, but is the app set on like microphone or on speaker or on headphones or something?
It's connected audio, it says, but there's no.
No difference.
Off in mode.
Hmm.
Can
Yeah, it says connected, but there's no sound, unfortunately.
가지를 써라.
Hello? 뭐다?
Okay, we just try to be really quiet
Yeah.
and come all a bit closer to the laptop.
오케이, 오케이, 오케이.
And then we try. to
지마서
figure it
때
out
샴바시
Yeah.
조조.
Should be fine.
We don't wanna-
맞다 가서는 실내 얘기 이제
Yes.
딱 그렇게 말해. 아주 손보시 그게. 이제 특이데.
그럼 선부 동본 돼 지지 마트나
그렇잖아.
각인들이 정한 전형입니다. 따뜻히 지나마도 연구도 안 한, 그도야 참아 틀이야 용이라.
That's all.
아니 지나 약간 저거 산이 띵게버도 지금 속이 산이 나니니만이 있어도.
That's all. Geshe-la hine.
공부 이름 잘했어. CS 팔아.
응.
그래서 저 답시라고 기도.
담시로 지려도 연애 약속인데 돼. 너셔까지.
방아파도 이죠.
나 저. 알랭이 고치면더라.
Oh, that tongue do.
공다다 가사양 것을 뒤서 못하니 뒤서 가로 촐러 드리야 단다야 집어를 차서 다 산이 것을 니버디 인티버니만이 손지도 않아서 니버디 시우서 돼 답시적이 아니 참말로 공부만 참시 아니 참마다 내가 저 무슨 정게 되면 뭐 쉬우지를 자 참말로 아니 니만 참말 다시 딜레스 쉬어야지 지 알아보자지.
That's up. That's up. So sorry everyone for the delay. It has happened several times this week that we couldn't fix the speaker, but we have a couple of days ahead before the next class, which is on not on Monday, on Tuesday. Therefore, we will try to fix it. So please don't get angry with us, and thank you for practicing patience. And today, many people here have come to the center. So welcome everyone. Hello everyone. Thank you for coming.
뭐 that's 드니 다토는 얘기 참말이야 참 드시 딜레요.
And Geshe Dele, welcome everyone who's also listening via Zoom.
어디지 드니 다 가상아서 디 아는디 참데 다 소쪽에 제랑 소송 통위 김제 따나라 때니 레김데 메버마와 땅세 틴디지 보이기 전에 틴디지 레도 하는 거 하고
Tam shayadi yan nyomjukpa kashigi ngonshigi dan
띵골 샤냐 띵골 샤냐
Laso Geshe la kamachik tanda mi saba yusareba
알레 로소
mi saba yu zang ani de ngazo kare dan nyimanyigi ringla ngazo kare she yume de di rosa sumba yina ta konsola tanda di pendo yusare
로소 어디아래다 이나 저기도 지당 맞아 가자 띵골 드레드 지당 드레서 다듬도 지나 야무데 네 삼나 아는 디치니마 다고도 님마 딱 봐요 두겐 딘디데 마 용게 이나 게디 단다디 취취급이 좀 생가서 단다디 간도데요 요 단디 sabject 마 조소나 디니 가서 양 취취급이 좀 센데 거네 마다 dom도 잠니 차사 루루지소네 야 디가 또 텔렌드지체 딘디지체나 삼야가 아니 딘디도 양 대신 거네 마 지니 치요나 디게 요나 다다디니 마 전다가 갑두면 튼니도 아니 드링 가서 마찬나 산이 바치디 취지급이 좀 센도도 딘디지게 니마 지니바들라 디니 가서 양 거니 마 카르세나 참마 dom다 도도도도 지 가르서 내가 딘디지 간라 송샤라에 주라 어디지소나 네 딘디지 삼고도
So now we're going to continue where we left it off, but since there seems to be new people who came today to lesson, so we are on using a book called of Awareness, and we are in a chapter that is explaining why it's important to practice a religious path or a spiritual path, and we will continue today from where we left it before yesterday. But once we finish this chapter, Geshe-la will do a like a conclusion or an overview of what we have seen so far, so that new people that come can also understand what we have seen so far.
Oh, the Tatini Mandrona Tirion, young Numjubanka she gave, Numjupa city, Chidan Dini Gum Jabdenge, Pomba, Gum Jabdenge, Numju, or Basitini, Dinigashiki, Tai Gum Jamni, one sheet in the any top, any one sheet in the Tobalatene, any pa, any town the Tomatavdi, any Joangama, Joangamati, Korakiangamati, any Senachin. 아니 롱초지 가리나 세나chen 시구들이 이나양 tin이 저 치마 아니 조던 하자 벤주 친구다 된사 김도 tin이 저 tin이 그런 당원식 따나 통고 요레스 어때든지도 지금 거들이 양 tin이 지금 전에 양 지금 갈수요 안도서 수디 가르레 두시디 아니 지금 레김데스야 지오라 따다 저거좀나 대원 중거리 좀 tum바 고그레 세야지오라 어떠소로 돼서 montumba 아니 다들 원시들이 따바디 세tin이로 통고 요사레스.
So we are in a sentence in my text. I still wasn't able to get the same edition that you have, so I will continue reading from the text that I have. And we start in a sentence that says, there are also some with meditative absorption, which is nyumjuk in Tibetan, who use clairvoyance to see that a certain person who was miserly in a former life is born into a wealthy home in the next life. And due to this, assert that although there are former and later lives, there is no cause and effect of actions. So here we were looking at the chapter about rebirth and how some people who have mistaken views assert that they don't believe basically in past and future lives, and even people who have developed meditative clairvoyance through meditative absorption and can therefore see past and future lives, since they are not able with their clairvoyance to see the connection between wealth in one life and miserliness in another life, they conclude that there is actually no connection between one's own actions and one's own experiences, since they see that a person who has been miserly experiences wealth in another lifetime.
근데 나 통고요 다 근데 고도 수고지 교황 없이 연애야 다 같이 교황 없이 요박해랭이 들이나요 레김드 에시아드 메버마 레김드 요마레시오 그도 김센터 코르소 근데 그 지네 근데 마와 당소샤 양가시 그 띵이 들라 때네 띵이 진다디 곰잡이 띵이 들라 때네 아니 가르치고 그러잖아 삼텐 다수메 삼수구제디 삼텐 다수메 톱나 토바나세자 띵리리아 톱나 양 아니 따틸레 코 타르바 톱상 아니 타르바 톱상냐 미디시케 어디 디시케 번에 아니 가르치고 그러잖아 주마 아니 삼텐 다수메레 마 냠주고 요래 또 마냠이야 요래 마 냠주고 어디 쌈발라 아니 다 아니 달라야 끼워len고니 콜 양주 끼워len고다 끼워야 가서 들이 제모 모부지를 끼워len고 방 통하나 근데 타르바시아도 또아니는 무두냐면 타르바 메도 냠신 아니 때터 마와서 나서 요장데 다 딘디라 템베가 아니 지금 다 자민 나서지 요래제 가이드나 다수 가시기 레김제 요 마레시아다 가시기 끼워 없이 요 마레시아다 양 가시가 타르바다 탐진 쳔바세 엔디 토비아 문두시 요 마레시 다 가리스네 요나 아니 다 코로투 삼텐다 띵이 저tin이 곰니 아니 삼텐다 숨메 소틴디 레켜 겨와레 디코라투 노니 추니 타르바 인사레 삼니 틴디 체바이나야 지수트 타르 틸리 냠 틴디 쳔디 다 타르바세야 문두 삼야가 와소바 틴디 쳔몽부추 요레스.
Then it continues by saying, also there are some who achieve a concentration or formless absorption through meditative stabilization and believe that they have achieved liberation. So here we're talking about people who, through the power of their concentration, they take rebirth in the upper realms, in the form realm and in the formless realm, and they confuse those rebirths in the form realm and the formless realm with liberation, with nirvana. So when they fall from that state and they see that they must again take rebirth, they conclude and assert that liberation does not exist, and hence assert that it does not. So here we see a confusion of people who develop meditative through their meditative powers and through specifically through concentration, they take rebirth in the form and formless realms, therefore in the upper realms, and confusing this state with actual liberation, since they are still within cyclic existence. If you're born within the upper realms, you're still within cyclic existence. Therefore, it's not liberation from cyclic existence, which means that through the power of karma and affliction, they will rebirth once again in the desire realm within cyclic existence, in samsara. And since they've confused their previous state with liberation, then they conclude that there must be no liberation, and they negate the possibility of liberation.
Oh, tindi Ramada tindi do to your chang to your yang somebody that John of Chingiber yote son that any Janguruchi on the dinner. John of she said Niber the Yodes. Di Jimson yang, the you be Jimson la, any constitution kind of son does in a long ama dance. Dia long ama so the matter Chipian Thingy. Ta any Machi you be Jimson la, and Marato Tanda, any Tanda neck up some down the long ama, Tia long amingama, Tiningama Chiba Chunchu Chunchu, even neck up Sinchega, any some announced. Tata attend the Yoban Dish, that in some Tanda Cheng do a temper you a tiger, and the carriage is in a Tata Lona swim becomes to Tanda Loch Yachimbo Chanelo, the Chimocha neck of tea, any Ripan D, any Gungama, any Ripachi Yoban Mosum Tuba stars. Ta Tiger, any Garasong dos and Tintiga, any Katanda, any also the Lochimbo the Chow the 아니 자 롱하밍하마하마 제니 집어 충충임 다츠저고 내가 텐데야가 단다기 리빠티라 아니 단다기 리빠데라 아니 리빠하마치 요바틴디 무슨 그쪽고 요레세 어때 틴디지 하거나 틴디지 툭툭나 아니 틴디지 하고 시바이나 틴디지 하마세 요바디 안티 삼탄사기신디 차고리 손도 틴지 하고 누 무슨 기쪽고 누 제딘의 손샤
Though there are a variety of such assertions, former and later lifetimes do exist. So here is what His Holiness is asserting, that rebirth and previous and future lifetimes do exist. And the reason is this. Even now, as adults, we remember states of mind from last year, the year before that, and so forth, back to childhood. Hence, it is established in our own direct experience that there existed a mind that was the earlier continuum of the present mind as an adult. So here what's explaining is that now in the present, as adults, we have memories of our childhood, of previous years that we've lived. Therefore, the present state of consciousness, the present consciousness, the present consciousness demonstrates that a previous consciousness existed. Since if there hadn't been a previous consciousness, then the present consciousness would not exist, and that's why we have memories. We're able to have memories of the previous periods of our lives. Therefore, through this type of reasoning, we can establish that if the present consciousness exists thanks to the previous consciousness, then the present consciousness of this life also exists due to the previous consciousness of previous lives.
Oh, that Indu Tanda Sendi Ripa, Sending Asu Tanda Ripa, Chibachunju Tomakia, Sendi Ripa, Tomate Yans, any Jumeli Macheres, Jumebali Kigmares. Ani ta tapali jam ke sonsha ani tapali ke mare ani ongpoli chile ke gore mo tapala anji ke wa me san tin tapali ke mare te ani nyelen na rig mumtin bi seme bumbuli jam ke vi sonsha ta sem go seri ke chayong ge sem karina de di sem de sem ta ni men ke ge churo go bumbo ngbo 아니 사다 신다 돌아서 받든지래 아니 기그 말이스 어디 기그 말이스 팀미케 손다 가리 고군도서는 녀렌 나 다리 무튼 받들릴 미케나 미케 장세 아니 다 녀렌 그 조름 텀바지링이 버게 구스 당 녀렌 그 조름 텀바지 세드 셈가 세르게 차 통마 단다 가서 때 집아 부춘지 통마 깨와디 세 딘디 부디게 디르방가마텔 양 아니 가마 중원도 선고디 어딜리 깨고군도 제 딘디 아니 텔라 야리 방가마치 요바지 하고나 디니 깨와가마 요반 두고데 세로 다딘디 선고도.
In the same way, the beginning of consciousness in this life was also not produced causelessly. So consciousness or anything cannot be produced causelessly. There must be a cause for the production of our own consciousness, since it cannot just happen without a cause. Nor was it produced by something permanent. So a permanent cause would not be able to produce one's own consciousness, because one's own consciousness is a functionality, which means it's an impermanent phenomena conditioned by causes and conditions. Nor was it produced from mindless matter, nor can the consciousness be produced by a non-concordant cause, because it must have a concordant cause. The mind is something which is clear and knowing. It's something which is clear and knowing. Therefore, the mind cannot be born or produced from something which is not clear and knowing, meaning, for example, matter, something that's matter, like a piece of wood, for example, or a piece of rock, or a piece of bone, for example, cannot give rise to consciousness, since matter is just the accumulation of atoms and particles and does not have this aspect of being clear and knowing. Therefore, the consciousness cannot be produced by this. And then it continues saying, if it were, matter would be substantial cause of the similar type. So matter would be the substantial cause of something that does not share the same characteristics. That's why it says dissimilar type. Hence, it definitely must have been produced from a substantial cause of similar type. So therefore, the consciousness that we had when we were born necessarily has to come from a cause, because it cannot be born causelessly. It has to come from an impermanent cause, because our mind is impermanent. And it has to come from a concordant cause, because everything is produced from a concordant cause. And therefore, matter, meaning our own body, like the sperm and the egg, cannot be the substantial cause of our own consciousness. Only the previous instant of our consciousness, so the consciousness before our conception, can be the substantial cause for our present consciousness. And like that, if we think like that, if we understand that line of reasoning, then we can establish that previous lives, and therefore future lives, exist.
No, tindijirisha. That tindaga ring tinchur no sorry. Kumdun jarumchi sona tindida. Ma ring tinchur the kawangami seri chungon the rogu the teta ring tinchur the gari residi. Sem tenin ani yulu seri ki chaya. Chaji sonsha. Ani chaji yimbe sem seadi tanda arikba sem seada tanda also tende ke shiba the last of the car seri ki chaji yimbe. Ani tetan drag seri ki chaji ngon songa yin sonsha. Tetan drag 아니 세르기 자주 원도 조고 그래 링튼 원도 송고 그래 링튼 바치 원도 조고 그래 세대가 왔다 딘디지 송고도 된다 리방가 맞대 아니 개왕감이 된라 개와 리 운매 송샤 다가이스나 딘디 세르게 단다 시바 개마 답이가 샘적 세르가 딘디 샘데 아니 양조 그런 거 아마 아니 세르지레 샘지레 깨고요나 다디 끼와 감마게 될 마도 아니 잠바치리 용아야 문도 오세 어때서 것도 저 단다디가
With regards to how the type of effect is similar to the cause, so it's concordant. When it says it's similar to the cause, it means it's concordant to the cause. In this case, the mind of the new life itself is a sentience or awareness that is a type of luminosity and knowing. So what the mind is defined as something that is clear and knowing, or luminous. Sometimes it's translated like luminous, but it's generally is defined like clear and knowing. Therefore, the only thing that can produce something that it's clear and knowing is something that already is clear and knowing. So it says it is therefore preceded by a similar luminosity and knowing. It's preceded by something that it's also clear and knowing. So therefore it's saying that if we can establish that the cause of the present mind, which is clearing knowing, is also something which is clearing knowing, and that therefore the cause of my previous mind must also be something which is clearing knowing, the only thing we can posit as the substantial cause for the consciousness is a previous consciousness and nothing else.
Tindichi Gugundu Seti Sonsha. That Timinari, Timine, Ani Jolly Tan Jong Lu Chai Lu Tikoni Singing Chabayina, Chena Sonsha. And she Lula Simioba in Dudu Siaga. She sang Libotelia, Tandaya Ani Simioba. I think the child would do the kind sena. Tanda Jong Luta, Ani Shamba Sama Yota, Delayang Simioban Joag in Dudu, the Chesonsha. And then Nipa de la Lui Pendrum Chebanaz, Ya Lun Damada Chow, do any digger Shirik nature the Pendrum Chebar and Joso can do Sonjati. Lulan Pendrum, the Luya Subo, and Yamacha, the Sembala. Nipa the Yamachi, young and Joya town, Pendrum doing Nipa the Muyo married it into your child good is. Jimson Carres and a same day. Ani Kesa the Johnson Tensa Yona Men and John Lucipure was the Testibu in the Tamba Telechi down the Tambada, and the same day I did on Sombergen energy or same message draw the Pedro draw of the book to the Younger Mares, that the Yogata Young do Sonsha.
Then it continues saying that former mind is not suitable to be anything but a mind produced in an earlier lifetime. Otherwise, if only the physical elements acted as the substantial cause of the mind, there would be faults. So there would be illogical conclusion. When it says there will be faults, it means illogical conclusions. For example, corpses with consciousness. So this would be an illogical conclusion if only the physical elements acted as the substantial cause of the mind, or consciousness that would be enhanced or deteriorate whenever the body was enhanced or deteriorate. So if it's saying that if the substantial cause, if the main cause that produces the mind is the body, therefore the mind, we can conclude that either the mind would still be present whenever there is a corpse, which is not the case, or that whenever the body is enhanced or the body is deteriorates, also this consciousness is enhanced or deteriorates. So it's also always acts or it behaves concordantly or in a parallel manner with the state of the body.
Also, Tanda Semji Yelingi Jushiba. And Semji Mojerung Zilla Zervares, Zervate Sonsha. Karesanam, and it's not Semji Ju, that Semji Seric under the Shibati Ju said there. Gula Chetan, Dandan Nambi Sony Chena, the Reshatan Gula, Ni, never the Yungu do Jenny, and Henchi Chin Sajitan, Yeling Juice and Ni, about the Yungu do. Tin on it, Tanda Rungumari. Oh, same good, and you Yungu Mari, Jure to Mari Lab the other two, the Yeling Ju. Yeling Ju Lati, Ani Dribu Kanda Kain, Upo Kanda Kain, a Korong Pan Jurung, Korong Oya Rendungeti. Ngoi ya zungi ani judela nyelingi ju cigarettes tela trochinge kinchinge ani tindigi jujura tela henchi chi cigarette tela hinchi muchirum tindi gogo mares matana so pe tindi mambu do atanda ane pumba da kala so bata chi chala tindi so ondi ani chi thoa da tindi la so ba dong go ya tindi chi na ti dong chi ge thoa da dong gi mit so But Chala Pumbatiga, Tangupo Karusu and a tiger, Henchi Chichi Jure Mato, Nielengu Jumares, Nielengu Judy, and yes, Chaka Chala Chaka Pumbado within Su and a chat tea Nielen Chinimo Gugure, or any Sada, the Zamada Sada, Serra within the Pumbado within the Sugu and a Chala Jusugana, Tingama don't have said the Queen Nielen Chinidogu, didn't you Jutila? Tindri yilu semge jutela ni tanda serge chachi wanga man yongi serge chachi go ndu seaga ostu tinde songo sares.
So it continues saying something suitable to become a mental entity, to become a mind, basically, is called the substantial cause of the mind. the physical body acts merely as a cooperative condition for the slight amplification or construction of the mind. So here is explaining what is suitable to be the cause of a mind, because we want to establish the existence of previous and future lives. Therefore, we want to establish that the mind cannot be caused, cannot be produced by physical matter. Therefore, it cannot be born with our own bodies. And since that is the case, that then it must come from a previous mind. And if that is the case, then we can establish rebirths. So here we must establish only mind can be the cause of mind, and that matter cannot be the cause of mind. So when we study Buddhist philosophy, we see that there are two types of causes, right? We posit a substantial cause, and we posit a cooperative condition, which is another type of cause, right? Substantial cause and a cooperative condition. So when we say that matter cannot be the cause of mind, we're saying that matter cannot be the substantial cause of mind. The body can be, however, the cooperative condition of mind. So how does this work? A substantial cause, it's something that the cause itself transforms into the result it produces. So the cause is in the same nature, the substantial cause must be in the same nature, in the same essence than the effect that it's producing. Whereas the cooperative condition does not necessarily need to be of the same essence, of the same entity than the effect it's helping to produce, because the cooperative condition does not transform into the result, but actually just serves as an assistant, that is an assistant of the substantial condition, so it can transform into the effect. So, for example, we can take a cup, or we can take a pillar. The person that works making the mug or the cup or the pillar is not the substantial cause of the cup or the pillar. It's only the cooperative condition, because the person does not transform into a cup. The person does not transform into a pillar. The person just helps making the cup and the pillar. However, the material used to make that cup, let's say we're making a cup out of glass or out of metal or out of mud or out of gold. So let's say it's a cup made out of mud. Then the substantial cause of the cup would be mud, and the comparative condition for the cup would be the person. If the cup is golden, then the substantial cause for the golden cup would be the piece of gold, and the comparative condition would be the person that yields that cup. So that would be the difference between substantial cause and comparative condition.
Oh, dindiresha, dindi indi tanda ngatu ju jimji yu namshan dila samlu chamoji tawi teni tikangla nyelen dal henchi chijinga yewa yakuji che shi ani ngubo shi kare chi dugu yo na ya dela nyelen ji dang ngibar dal henchi chijiga ani ngubo ni ji gugu yo ba dindi su samlu yakuji tangni di etosola des tenten ji di samlu tang tu na ani shini tanda semla ani garsana ani gyuchikwa chijanga nyeleng gyujidang ani lenji chibi gyuji ni yogoba dang dindiga ani nyeleng gyuda lenji chibi gyuji ni yoba da samlo chi yagoji tang tu jela ani nyeleng gyudela ani kiwa kamani yongu yoba ma to din chugu meba dang o doso chi digang le ani bar digang dikapdu le doso samta dini ma chiwa ina ani te chi le lawo chi ga dayang chi katu pesha chocha lu dindi le lawo chi taramundu usi.
So here we're thinking about the law of causality in a deeper, more subtle manner. And it's important that we understand the difference between a substantial cause and a cooperative cause, so that we can establish that all functionalities, so everything, all phenomena which are impermanent, necessarily are produced by both a substantial cause and cooperative conditions. So it's very important we're able to reflect about this, understand this, because then we will know we will feel certain that necessarily for something to be produced needs a substantial cause and a cooperative cause. And since everything that it's produced, everything that it's impermanent necessarily needs these two types of causes, then the consciousness at the time of our conception, the substantial cause of our consciousness at the time of our conception necessarily comes from a previous instant, from a previous mind. And therefore, if we are able to establish this line of reasoning, we will demonstrate that previous lives exist. So it's very important that we think about this, and it's not something that we will just understand like that immediately, very easily, but we have to think about it again and again and again, and try to gain some certainty about this.
Hola, so tini tanda andini ma kon dini churo ji ngubu win jirdong ga shi per ko se kyang so sha churo ko ngubu se di churo ngubu se yon di tanda chi ngubu su jin jin ngubu to so song go re du jin jin ngubu to so ani ga shi dini drea do wa se ne pe dini ko ni se bare de ina yang to so ta nang ani o su me bi sem jin jirdong chi chu te ta ani su jin jin ngubu jirdong chi te teni drag ma re pe dini drag ma re ji o ti so sha do ten jirdong ma da shi 아니 오즈메 일로도 페나 간데 지레 시디 오즈메비 일로 셈데 삼바 셈로데 남칸 마이 바시 남키 고 소와다 남칸 마이 바지 고 주르지메 바타위 지레 세 오타쿤데 그티네 소샤도 단다 남키 고보 나다가데 남카 시디 남카 마이 바지 남카 고 렌드와요 마리 남카데 남카 마이 바지 렌드와 딘디 메와 난신 셈제 줌메비 셈데 아니 양제도 체투가 가가지 거니 삼다고 두스 아니 줌메비 셈제도 체온디 아니 셈 마이 바지 셈고 렌드와 딘디 사니니 무두스 메바 딘디 손다 따딘 타투나 아니 셈 마이 바지 셈고 두고 메상 아니다 안디 제마타비 아니 유로 제마타비 유로 셈텔라 아니 셈방가 마지 요바 어텐데 시바 루가 마중고도 총고 아틴디 있나 리바 틴디 레텐니 엘키 왕가 마요 바틴디 두고두 세타테 마이 바양 치우수제 샴바 틴디 레양 텐데 타기라나 시리 치다 닐레기 귤라 요레 요 마레 마도 렌치 치지기 귤라 양 치문tum 바틴디 용아 요레스 오타 티츠다 텐니 드라고 무두세 오타 텐디 지소샤.
So let's continue with the text. It says, it in no way acts as the substantial cause of mind. Hence, there is utterly no such thing as a non-mind becoming mind or mind becoming non-mind. Regarding this, some who hold that transformation of non-mind into mind can occur attempt to prove the existence of such transformation with the example of the changes of certain external things, such as wood becoming fire, wood becoming stone, petrified wood. However, change in the formless mind is different from change in physical things, and there is no way that insentient matter can turn into formless sentience and awareness, just as, for example, something that is not space does not become space, and space itself does not become non-space. So here His Holiness, it's stating that some people assert that since we can see in the matter world, in the world made out of physical matter, certain types of transformation, like wood, for example, transforming into fire or transforming into ash or transforming into stone, following that reasoning, they establish that then something that is matter can transform into consciousness, which is non-physical, or that something that is non-physical, like the mind, can transform into matter. However, here His Holiness says, and he states some examples, like space does not become, not space does not become space. So, for example, space that allows us to move from one place to another cannot become solid matter. It cannot become that. And something which is solid matter cannot transform into space. So similarly, and I continue reading, hence, concerning the present physical body and non-physical mind, the body is established through the, I think I've read too much, I've gone too far. So I'll leave it here for now. So we have about a bit more than 10 minutes. So if you have any questions, now it's a good moment, whether it's on Zoom or over there.
In the reasoning, you were talking about the memories that we have of our previous consciousness. But from the baby to our previous lives, we don't have any memory. Why is that?
Geshe gita yin ane nganzo tanda mi chenpo chane nganzo chunjun yinbe kapla nganzo temba yore bas. Nganzo chen tukira nga chunjun kapla di nga di chen da temba tendre yore. Yina yang nganzo ta bugu chunjun yinbe kapla nganzo kewa nga ma ki kare che yome nganzo chengi yomara di temba yomara. Di kare chene res.
어디리자 디 지당 아주 단당 아주 지당 어리바 약보다 배로노보티 템보 지나 교황아마 몽부지 교황을 더 센디가 로지 전화 몽부지 백세고 약보 땡기요래 요래 양 아니 바 약보시나 맹해지나 아 템보 맹해지나 아니 가다카니 롱아마틴 템보 레카치 몽부 템보 젠두고 요래 tindigni tsudanga tu yongya yongda yongshimba tsamali yobate tindirisha. Yina yang denpare mangchiwa chigi kiwa ngayma tengi hachanga nyungyungre yore yoya. Kiwa ngayma tengi yore da yore kiwa ngayma ngan dini kiwa yin di mitang digi pugu yingya aman diri paan diri singe tingsa mambu di paru mambu chunga yore. Yore ta yina yang mangchiwa muyonga de kari re siangwa di nga tsu maa shindu di shivi semdu sem hachang chamu mambu chamu chani Diniga peti semdo hacha chamuji ngo soni desi lasu yirambusi namu desi haandu dini pardoli ke dini jini rodi neka mobuji chadi ani yang su dada ani chi mindu chi kiawa lemba yina yang ani di la di tempa de jobu chile tuwa sama resi dindiga rishi jago yo mandras.
Listen. So from our own experience, we see that even in this life, some people have an excellent memory. They have very clear minds. They have an excellent memory, and therefore they're able to remember clearly what they've experienced in their lives. Whereas there are some people who do not have such clear memory, and they have blurred memories, and it's not so stable. Their memory is not so great, and therefore even they forget what they did this morning, or they forget what they did this year. So we can establish that there is a difference in the quality of one's memory according to the state of one's mind. But what you're saying, it's true. Most people do not have memories of their previous lives. However, that doesn't mean that no one remembers their previous life. There are people who do remember their previous lives and have memory, and they're able to say, oh, in my previous lives, I was born in this place and to these parents, and I had these experience. But most people don't. Why don't most people remember their lives? Well, it's explained that at the time of death, our coarse consciousness disappears, right? That coarse consciousness is connected to the brain of our previous body. And since our body dies, then this coarse consciousness also dies. And what remains is a very, very, very subtle consciousness. And this subtle consciousness takes a long time before it takes rebirth again. And it needs to go through the bardo and through all these experiences. And then they say that once it takes another body, by that time, the memory of the coarse consciousness of the previous lives are not able, in most cases, to kind of outlive all that process of death and bardo and rebirth. And that's why most of us do not have memories of previous lives.
Would that mean that if our mind in this life becomes more and more subtle, that we can recreate the memory from previous lives, or are they completely gone?
Kishila tenche yina ngaranzo tanda ngazo sem chamo ngungyur tangyur sotuba yina tanda ngazo sem raba ngazo peje tanda yaba ina sem chamo yureba ani se ngazo sem chamo ti ngungyur chetuba yina di tonne ngazo gewangama ki chemba ngazo chen tu sarebe yamena gewangama ki chemba pet meba chachare.
re tamaso sim chamo lana re ngaso something da tingi tini gumbar tini tagi di kon la son do 아니 아마 tenya다 kiwa chima maungpa kawali kiki yome tindi tenya ngonshi tindi dhubya tende yore diga hakoya tindi suya yores tende yores.
Rather than speaking about manifesting our subtle mind, what we have to do if we want to remember our previous lives, and so which means that our previous memories have not disappeared, is that like the text mentions, we have to develop a very stable concentration, single-pointedly concentration, and through meditative stabilization, we can develop clairvoyance, and through that clairvoyance, then we will be able to remember what happened in previous lives. That's it. Do you have, are there more questions over there or over here on Zoom?
You are mẹ.
Do you want me? Okay.
So,
Huh?
can I ask? So, if in other lives, you make lots of concentration. If in this life you have clairvoyance, like you said before, so that means you can see your past lives easily, or
sorry, you were a little bit far and I couldn't clearly hear. Can you repeat your question again? I didn't get it clearly.
if in other lives,
yeah,
your concentration of the mind, it's you made a lot of concentration of the mind, like to see now memories of the past. Is that easy now for someone that meditates to get on to see what this memory comes from?
Are you saying that if we developed concentration in previous lives, does that mean that in this life we would be able to remember our previous life?
Exactly.
Is that your question?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Geshe kising azo gewang ama ane dingen zin dende dabo ke tuyewa ina ane tsedilang azo gewang ama tensigrewe.
Ale orere da tsemang tserong ngama na kyo ngama kanla ni ngonshida tindi duktu yona yang da semba tutsu karsena 그럼 문튼 정원도 교육도 길ab관era kantar ma nyamni tanda chetile ngibar de temba ki tu ngiba yo mares yinna yang ani yang ti yang pa tembu zoni drumni ya kyo ma manyam bachini ya yargin ya yabu chaya ga tindili yang ko chi druba nyamle misewa chini chegore ma to taga tanda ngoshi thoba tsamda tini chiga pendo mar juma yang ju temba je dogure je dogure.
There is no pervasion, so there is no certainty that by having developed concentration in previous lives, necessarily you would be able in this life to remember your previous life, because throughout your life, your concentration might have deteriorated.
Yes.
And if that is the case, then in this life, you wouldn't remember. And also, if you developed concentration in previous lives, since like we mentioned before, the coarse consciousness disappears, right? So it's very difficult to continue having that concentration in this life. So in that case, if you developed, again, concentration in this life, which would be easier because you already developed it in previous lives, then you would easily develop clairvoyance and then remember previous lives. But only people with very, very, very stable concentrations who have a lot of mental power can keep that concentration life to life and therefore continue remembering their lives after they died.
Okay. Thank you.
Is there any other question?
I want to ask.
Come here.
Could our previous life not be human or any living things? Could our previous life be, I don't know, maybe be a chair, a desk, or any non-living things? Because I heard from like some witches saying like we are all energy or consciousness, and we might not be like living, like we can be some non-living things. Like yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Geshe-la, nga tsu tanda kewa nga ma ani pena kubkya ki kewa leya yorebe ani chokze dan kubkya dan tanda sugi rig pena bumba dawo ani kewa tende yorebe yomare.
나서 디 nga tanda mi nga tanda draw mi se de draw simjen se de nga to yang o chap ge de chi din draw mi se din de semda denge shiba sari ge chada denge ga kansa kyo lemba bu ji yinna to sigme su sigma to jin shiba sa ni me ge bembo ge kupja da purbando din di ge sa ni le yo ma res yang ani semda denge ge yang ani simchen dam madale kewa lemba tambu so simchen garina chadar da tendo karlina kewa lemba yo chogres.
No, it wouldn't be possible according to Buddhist teachings to take a rebirth or have taken a rebirth as a non-mental thing, like for example a chair or a table or a cup. Because like we said, the mind is something that is clear and knowing, which means that we can only take rebirth in a kind of sentient being who is able to have such a mind which is clear and knowing, which means we cannot take rebirth as something like something without a mind, like a chair or a table, but we can take rebirth in other forms of sentient beings, like for example an animal or other types of beings.
Related to this question, I heard from a Buddhist teacher that we cannot be reborn in a, like, for example, a tree or a chair, but we could be reborn as the spirit, and the spirit lives in a tree or a chair. Is that true?
Geshe-la nye genchi ki tsane kare goson lamna ani ngazo re ngazo kubkya dan chokse tende kewa leya yo mare yina yang ngazo pena yida dan lu dan tende ki semchen kewa leya yore yina yang lu ki kewa dan yida ki kewa leya yore yina yang yida dan lu kashe konzo shingla degi yores konzo shingi kewa malena yang shingla degi yores dembare demamares
shingla degi yore la du kandise la we na ta jida yida kana le pa su cha tan shing daw yin denge yang je le ji gu cho jam ni yang na le simjen yin denge go tindri ri mo bu do a tindri ri mo bu ya dan da te mo sonam thone do
kare son yin Geshe-la shingi konzo yida denzo kare shingi sopta dawachi kewa dendre lengi yore yamena kandere
저 원리的그런 게 수pon다 파타디 행동 란로 인게 얘네한테 행동 원리 많이 받지 인다 심전 인된 게 딘디게 이다세는 모두 딘디 교환 통화 요레스 얘네야 띵아서 가르세는 행동다 딘디 레라고 말이 기타양 그런 심전 가리나 딘디라고 딘디라고 면도스
I'm not sure what you mean by that they abide in a tree or they live in a tree. I'm not sure what you mean. What we can assert is that there are certain types of beings, like for example, like you said, like spirits, like karesa in English, fantasmas hambrientos in Spanish, hungry ghosts, hungry ghosts. Thank you. Like hungry ghosts and nagas and so on, who even though they take a rebirth as a naga or a hungry ghost, their appearance is like a tree. So sometimes we see a tree and we think it's a tree, and it might be a hungry ghost, but it's not that they've taken the rebirth of a tree, but rather the rebirth of a hungry ghost that looks like a tree, in the same way that we can find insects, like stick insects, right, that look like sticks, but they're not actually sticks, they just look like one.
나서 되잖아. 아니 다 뒤쪽인데 지금 가는 샤샤나 지금도.
La so Geshe-la.
아니
Geshe-la.
산이 많이 jel이야. 손다.
Oh, yeah, ngodem na lola ane chik nga zo kare che yome dunda tila chigorebe ane tin nyamdo nga par chik shathuba ina Geshe getsen ki yaboyo re sunso demre ina kenan pato tsama tsomne par chik yamna kenan zo khabar tonne par chik yamna diksarebe jelang
되게
ane ngodem na lola sha diksare
디센트들이 초코들 줍시라 그렇지.
So we're gonna finish the class here because time is over. But I asked Geshe-la, Geshe Gelsen asked me if I can be in charge of kind of every week explaining what we've studied and what we're going to study next week. And he said if together with that I can post pictures, it would be very nice. But since I'm not there, I cannot take the picture. So would you guys mind to get together with Geshe-la and with a phone, take a picture and then Geshe-la can send it to me? And then I can put it on Facebook. If someone doesn't want to be on Facebook, then you don't have to be in the picture. And that's okay.
오케이.
Geshe Gyaltsen just loves making selfies.
Come here. 막 하러는 게 아니야.
게 따가다 돼.
강가 되는데.
게 빠지 좀 믿을라지.
네.
약간 오늘 말아. 기르기.
Come here.
Prende Buddhism.
Yeah.
He was preparing there for you.
Oh, okay, no, I just.
Okay.
오, 그래요. 이제
You have to change the direction of the laptop so these people are with us on the picture.
왜냐면 나 돼야지 진짜잖아.
전부시.
내가 야 이거네 야.
이렇게 원로.
아니.
그래.
야. 아니 랩트. 이렇게 잡는 게.
오, 대박도. 빼야고. 투지치.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Want to change it?
Okay.
Who's the translator?
Who's this nice lady up here?
Yeah, nice.
Thanks, Rika.
See you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye.